Have you ever studied or did a brainstorming to find out why America is having all these problems and why we don't have any experts? We just have a bunch of jokers. You have WebMD, of course, that helps out a lot, and you have the internet where people from around the world put up ideas, and then these guys, searching and finding stuff and making big bucks. And no wonder some of them don't even feel like going to school, and they just start a business, and with some demographics, white and Jewish and whatever, to make a whole bunch of money, and that's it. And I like American education because I grew up in the British system, doing the British education, and I like the idea of these, electives and minors and majors and all that. In essence, the British system is this: if you're going to be a biologist and you have 15 courses to do, 14 will be about biology and one might be about computers. Now, of course, they expected you to have a real solid high school career in which you did your English and math and so on. But in the American system here now, if you going to be majoring in something and you say you have 30 courses to do, maybe 7 going to be the major and the rest going to be electives and so on. So you do public speaking, sociology, psychology, history, fine arts, and some of the other things. I did parliamentary procedure and public speaking and persuasion and sociology, psychology, and so on. Anyway, so I've discovered was the big problem in America, and what I found is that Harvard, Yale, and even Berkeley University here in California, University of California at Berkeley, they're supposed to be top tier, and I guess Stanford too. All these top Ivy League schools, they're doing the same thing. Guys at the end of the semester sell their books. In our system, I had all my books when I finished school, and I got them lost. I mean, I had a permanent home, married and had a permanent home to have my library. But normally you keep your books, and every now and then you go and sample something, and you refresh your mind and all that kind of stuff. Although I really don't need that because I ensured when I'm doing the course, I studied everything, the whole book, the whole chapter, everything, and I have some big serious discussions, and I'm projecting some serious situations and scenarios with my stuff. And so my friends would laugh at me, and they would get honors. I graduated my first degree. I got first associate of arts. I got 2.4 was my GPA, and some of my friends, they got honors and A's and so on, and I feel like, what's wrong with me? But I had a different attitude in school. I'm not even talking about traditional and non-traditional students. It's straight up, I was trying to be a good scholar. So that my history, for example, I loved it so much that I read the book out during the summer. And I read out all the books, and trying to see how I could put it into real practice. And then I came back and discovered that I had no major and no electives. All my courses I took serious, minors, electives, whatever. I spent equal time with all because I felt all were important. I advise some students here at University of California at Berkeley that a lot of times you don't succeed because of your major. Your major might be, say, biology, but what will make you successful is if you could communicate well, if you could get along well with your colleagues, and if you have a good, self-image, and of others and yourself, and hope and confidence and so on. Anyway, so the bottom line is this: with Yale and Harvard and all the Ivy League schools and University of California at Berkeley, say you want to be an expert, you're studying to be an expert in um, say history. Now this semester, the books that you're using might equal up to about 200 chapters, 50 chapters in each 4 courses. So the professor's going to say, here now, we are now going to study this whole book now. We can just do about 10 chapters, okay? So I would still read the whole book. But my scholar friends, what they did, they didn't even read the book. They just listened to his lecture, what he says, take all the notes, and what he said to check up on that. Before the exam, he's going to give a review sometimes before and so on, and they, memorize that. So when they go in the exam, they're scoring high because he's asking, name me this and name me two of that and whatever. When I went in the exam, I'm expecting him to tell me, why is this so and what would you do about that, and the kind of deep stuff. Yeah. Although in the class sometimes in psychology class the guys would call me the psychologist. And what would happen? Some teachers when they see me enroll in their class, they were excited because it's going to be fun. They won't have a lot of work, and so students can conclude that this teacher's solid because of the discussions I will generate and the type of fun we have in class. And so I'm saying that out of the 200 chapters, they might just do maybe 40 chapters, 10 of each, and they're going to skim around and so forth. So they haven't read the whole 200 chapters. They haven't read other books that are germane and relevant to the same, major. And so they just come out with in essence, out of the 200 pages, they must have just studied about 10, and they got high honors. So when they come out and they say, I got honors, man, you're saying he must know what he's about. But guess what? They don't go into the majors. They're going to something else. So they can't blame them that you don't know anything about it, sir. That wasn't my major. We don't know anything about his major either. And then, of course, at the end of the semester, he's going to sell the books. So there goes it. Now, when you look at how folks behave and going into the Middle East, you know that these guys are studying nothing because in middle school, social studies, let's discuss, the Middle East, the Crusades, the Byzantine Empire, with this Turkey was the Ottoman Empire, the cause of maybe the Second and First World Wars, and so on. And what you learn from those studies is that when you go into the Middle East, you have to be prepared. In no longer you used to have 30-year war, 50-year war, 100-year war. That's what you have to be thinking about. And them boys over there, they're just doing guerrilla warfare. They're gonna fight when they're ready. Sometimes you go in and a whole month nothing happening, and then you say, "Oh, it's okay. Let's go party. Or let's go down by the beach and by the restaurant." Then they're gonna show up and kill a couple and just chill out again. Understand them boys putting out serious money, couple billions a week or whatever in a short period. And real quick, that's adding up almost what would run the country. They spend it on stuff over time, and then they're getting nothing because it's an ending. And as I say, it's guerrilla warfare. They just have to spend maybe $50 or nothing at all to keep up their campaign going. So this is the bottom line. If you want experts, you can't have all these resources. Everybody can't go to college because, you're just wasting time. They don't come back and say they can't pay back the tuition. But then on the other hand, it has an economic value, right? Because all these professors working and the staff and the whole books and the whole industry, all the shops around,